Hey guys, Drifter here. Today I've got a little topical commentary for you about the mounted machine guns or bipods in Call of Duty World War II. I'm going to show a little bit of LMG gameplay, but not a whole lot because I've already shown all of my gameplay. Don't want it to get repetitive or boring. We'll swap over to Modern Warfare Remastered in just a few minutes, but mountable light machine guns have returned to Call of Duty World War II in a very big way. Firstly, many maps have them in defensive positions. I think every single map I played had at least 2 fixed mounted machine guns, just the ones that are part of a map that you can walk up to and hop on and hose people. In the war mode, you can build them for extra defenses. Both attacking and defending had several points where you could build more than one machine gun. And on the payload, I call it as Overwatch, the tank that you have to escort, there's a big machine gun on the tank that you can use to hose people. And finally, and really the focus of this commentary, is that the LMG class has a bipod available so that you can hit left on the D-pad and mount it to really almost any surface in the game, just like you were able to in World at War. The buildable and tank light machine guns are fine. They make a ton of sense in the context in that mode. If you're going to build a defense, that's what you should build, and there's no point in having a tank if you can't get on it and shoot. The stationary ones are okay too in my opinion, as they are thematic. They were extremely common in World War II, and since they're fixed, they're very simple to predict and fight around. However, being able to use your bipod on so many different surfaces and mount any light machine gun to almost any surface to give it extremely low recoil kind of has me concerned. The concern is that it may be a crutch for newer players, which means when I round corners when the game comes out, I might be running into a whole lot of zero recoil LMG campers. And I say this as a guy who is a big fan of the bipod. I loved it in World at War. I actually remember begging Sledgehammer Games to bring it back for this. I don't know what video it was in or a tweet or something, but I was actually wanting the bipods to come back, and I still more or less stand by that. And then again, I was almost wanting any new cool fun attachment mechanic to come back, of which we got many, but I'm kind of scared of what the Dark Corner McDougals of the world are going to do with it, with what all the Bushwookies have in mind. The bipod was not very useful in the YouTuber games or the pro games that I watched, or any of the people that I talked to that play at a high level. Skill levels were way too high for us to get any real utility out of it. Now, not that some people didn't use it, not that they didn't get kills with it, but in a lot of situations, low mobility meant death, which meant the bipod was very, very situational. However, public lobbies just don't work like that. With wildly uneven skill levels, with wildly unpredictable enemies, people will do strange and annoying things. For example, when all of the YouTubers and pro players first played Call of Duty Ghosts, I remember none of them used the IEDs. We didn't like them, they weren't very fun to use, they didn't really get a whole lot of kills, they were campy, so we basically ignored them. However, when the game came out and the public regular players got a hold to it, there were people, well, most people actually would run 2 IEDs, and they were everywhere in every lobby, and that's not what I want to see in Call of Duty World War II. I don't want every lobby to be a mounted bipod death trap. And you know, I do think that this is a game mechanic that can work, though I think it's going to be a very skill gap type mechanic. I think that you are going to be able to really hammer people not paying attention. If you put it up outside a spawn, if you catch a team setting up that doesn't notice you, you're going to be able to bipod your LMG and just absolutely murder people with almost no recoil. However, if you're playing in competitive matches, if you're playing against much better players, if you're playing against anybody that has any real situational awareness, you're just going to get shreked. They're going to send you all the way back to the swamp, and it's going to be all sorts of pain. I just hope that it doesn't end up spammy, and this is a very highly opinionated commentary, but I think it's going to pan out. I think the skill gap will take care of it for the most part, though you will be able to cheese people a bit. But I want to know what you guys have to think. Down there in the comment section, please tell me what you think. I'll read and reply to quite a few, pin my absolute favorite, and be sure to share this on Reddit, Twitter, whatever, just wherever you feel like talking about it. I'll be there. If you enjoyed, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. Drifter out.